Hello, everyone. This is I, Mr. Kerfuffles, and welcome to a very interesting video. Today, I'm not going to be doing any kind of gameplay or reaction video, but this is something that I've been wanting to go through for quite a while after doing this sort of video with a good friend of mine, Nightside Productions. We went over a specific subject that went along the lines of a specific game called Wizard 101. Now, what might this subject be? Why, it's none other than paywalling in the game. This game literally paywalls all of its players when it's completely marketed to be a free-to-play game, yet throughout your entire time of playing through this game that is quote-unquote free to play, you are actually paywalled from just about everywhere. If I were to give a equivalent of what this game is like, I would say that this game is more equivalent to World of Warcraft. An ever-expanding game with more worlds to come, but yet you need a subscription or a premium currency in order to be able to unlock the next area. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, if you would come along with me and take a look here, we have 22 zones, and this is a pay-as-you-go pricing, which is a serious big red flag. You need to pay up King's Isle Entertainment in order to be able to play through their whole game. Again, this game is marketed to be free to play. How is this free to play when only 10 of these zones are free? 6 of which being your main hub, while 2 of them are battle arenas to fight enemies, and the other 2 are dungeons. You call this game free to play, but I see it as misinformation, false advertising. Because this has been going on for a whole 16 years. Because this game, Wizard 101, was released all the way back in 2008. While there is another game that I will definitely go over, being right up here, if you can see, is none other than Pirate 101. Now, these two games have been around for oh so long, receiving so many updates for new worlds, graphics, and events that go on every now and then. With Wizard 101 gaining the new Novus and Wallaru expansion areas, Pirate 101 gets more books to obtain more chapters. For Pirate 101, there is currently 15 books, while Wizard 101 has 22 areas with optional dungeons, and each of these areas, except for Wizard City, have no free zones. Now, people are probably going to be saying in the comments, well, it's for keeping the servers alive and active. You should know that by now, dum-dum. Well, here's the thing. When this game was marketed to kids to be a free-to-play game, and they come across Cyclops Lane, Firecat Alley, or Colossus Boulevard because they need to go there for their story, or even Crab Alley, they are going to be seeing this paywall right here. This paywall is going to be shoved right in your face every single place you go to that's not free. This is not a free-to-play game. It's not. It's a glorified paywall that you have to pay money for in order to be able to play these games, or to play this game and to go into these areas. Well, no, it is a paywall for both of these games. But since this premium currency of crowns, as it's called, can be used across both games, the price for even being able to play through both games, start to finish, with no paywall whatsoever, until the next new area comes out, is atrocious. Because with how much you're going to be needing to spend, no one is going to be wanting to do that unless they are crazy enough to do it. Now, you have these areas all for 750, but not only that, ranked PvP you have to buy for each match of 80 crowns. Unless you want to do a whole 240 crowns instead for a full day's pass. That's right, you cannot even play PvP ranked matches without spending your own crowns. Again, this is a free-to-play game. Now, this interesting way of how things get scrolled down is weird, but it then goes to the Tale of the Four Dungeons. Kimbalung, Barkingham Palace, House of Scales, and Darkmoor, or Castle Darkmoor. All with ever-increasing prices of $12.45, $17.45, $24.95, and $34.95. And then Aquila. Oh, and we also can't forget about the dungeon rentals as well. We have rentals. $495 for 6 whole hours. And then the same thing with Aquila, except that's another 200 crowns you're adding on to it of 645. Yet for Olympus, Atlantis, and Tartarus, $24.95, $32.45, $39.95. We're seeing a pattern here. But now, what if you finished off Wizard City? How bad could it be? Well, your first main area you would probably want to go into is Cocotopia. As many would possibly suggest that you would do of getting rid of Cocotopia as a first come, first serve, or basically getting it over and done with first thing. Then moving on to the rest as it's more easier. Well, for Cocotopia, you are locked out of 20 zones. All 3 of these for 6, 12, and 19. 19 zones. 3,500 for the 2 6s and the 7 zone. And then finally, a tower or dungeon is 915 crowns. We are seeing the greed rise up if you are calculating all of this, because I already have it set up, or I already have the final amount ready. And it's not good. It's not pretty. Then we go down to Wisteria. It's 3,000 for each area. It's short. It's quick. It's easy. That's why it's the cheapest besides Wizard City. It's the second cheapest thing. Then Marleybone. This is 10 areas. Or, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, yeah, 10 purchases. Each of them, 1,200. Then we go down to Mushu. We got 9 more, 1200. And the same thing for Dragonspire. And then 6 more for Celestia, as it's now reached up to 1695. Zafaria, 6 more, 1695. Grizzleheim, we now have 1995 on crowns for 10 areas of both Grizzleheim and Wintertusk. But then we drop back down to 1695 for Avalon. And then straight back up to 1995 once more on Azteca. Chrysalis, a 2-parter, 6 zones, or 6 purchases, 1995. And the same with Polaris, Mirage, Imperia, parts 1 and 2. And then we get to another dungeon, I believe, of the Catacombs. 12 whole zones, locked behind 6,000 crowns. Now this right here, I could clearly see this entire zone, this world, as a complete expansion. I would see this as a glorified expansion zone that would be unrelated to the story, but to me, I see it as it is part of the story. I would definitely see that the Catacombs is part of Arc 2's story. However you might say this, but I'm just going to say that it's Caramel. Or Caramella. Someone correct me down in the comments, whichever one it's pronounced as. But this is now straight up to $22.95. 2,295 crowns. And it's the same with Lemuria, Novus, and Wallaru. So for those that have been calculating, yeah, it's that much crowns needed to buy every single zone. But if you were really wanting to know how much it's going to cost, it is going to be costing you 229,780 crowns, which roughly estimates up to $305. Or 290 of a $15 difference if there was ever going to be a Super Crown sale, which there hasn't been one since 2019. Unless there has been one from the past 2 years. So how are you even supposed to be able to play this game? You got prepaid cards for getting crowns and memberships. Or just buy the crowns and buy off the areas one by one, because once you do that for your first wizard, every other wizard will be able to go into that area once you complete it with your first. Otherwise, you probably may need to buy it again. In which I have basically completed the entirety of Wizard City, Cocotopia, Wisteria, Marleybone, and Grizzleheim. And I think Wintertusk too. But I'm not exactly sure. I think I did. No, yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, I want to believe I did complete it. So I am completely stuck out of Mushu, Dragonspire, Celestia, Zafaria, Avalon, and whatever else is part of Arc 1. But here's the thing. This game is supposed to be free for all players. But yet, you're making players buy off your zones or forcing them to buy a subscription, a membership. Much like WoW. Because if you do not have a membership and you're in one of these other areas that's not Wizard City, you will be immediately sent back to Wizard City unless you already bought that zone with crowns. So if you're in an area that you have not bought with crowns, you will be immediately sent back to Wizard City within the commons, and you are stuck out of continuing your game until you either get another membership or get crowns. And yes, I also did calculate on how much crowns you would even need in order to be able to buy all zones. Because you need 2 of the 800 or 80,000 plus a 60,000 and a 25. So that is 8, 16, and then another one for 220,000, and then finally 13,750 for a grand total of 233,750. Or you can go ahead and just do the... Actually, no. Not yet. Actually, yeah. You can go ahead and do the 5,000... Or... No. No, I'm right, actually. Yeah. So, yeah, that... 80 and then 25? Yeah, $305. $305 for every single area up to Wallaru. How can we get it? How can we get this bad for a simple free-to-play game that was marketed towards children back in 2008? And it's not just this, it's also Pirate 101 as well. Like I mentioned, 15 areas, or 15 books. Because this also runs on a pay-as-you-go chapter pricing. Because we start with Book 1, A Pirate's Life for Me. You obviously got your introduction, which is free, and you got your prologue, Part 1, which is free. The prologue Part 2, yeah, you're locked out of your prologue. How are you locked out of your own prologue, including Chapter 1? Are you serious right now? Are you out of your damn mind? Locking players out of the prologue. How can it get this bad? No, this cannot be. Just why? 15 books and you're locking players out of their own prologue and the first chapter of your game. This is the biggest, greediest piece of a game I've ever seen. It's old, sure. But when I expect to see a free-to-play game, I expect to see a free-to-play game where I can actually play through the whole story and not see a single paywall blocking me from playing your game. Like Star Wars: The Old Republic, for a very good example. I can play through the entirety of Star Wars: The Old Republic and not be able to see a single paywall for the whole main story. But for being a free-to-play player, you might not be able to get as many benefits, such as with EXP gain and whatnot, a credit cap, and obviously character cap, as you're stuck with, 4 characters? When if you simply become a preferred player or a subscriber, you get way more benefits. Like, For being a preferred player, you would get a maximum cap of 1 million credits, and you would be able to get 12 playable character slots, and for subscriber, I'm not sure what else there was for preferred. I'm pretty sure that preferred also get, like, storage for their ships, for their starships. And for a subscriber, they get 26 characters, 2 more expansions of side stories, or, well, expansion stories that go off from the main character's storyline. And they get they go over 1 million credit cap. I'm not sure if subscribers do get a credit cap. If so, someone please let me know down in the comments. But I will also leave a link within the description, and also leave a video card down at the end of the video, so that way you all can check out Nightside's video that he featured me within, going over this exact topic. But anyways, let's carry on. So from 375 crowns for prologues 2 and 3, part 4 raises up to 749 along with chapter 1. Book 2, 1249 on both chapters. You've got to be kidding me. Then 250 more for chapters 4, 5, and 6 of 1499. And it's the same with book 4. Book 5 is now 1999. Along with book 6. 7 raises it up by 2,499. Along with book 8, 9, 10, and then 11 raises it up to 2,999. I cannot speak. And then the entirety for book 12, 13, and 14. Yet 15 goes back down to $24.99. Your grand total of crowns is way less, but even then, it's 94,710 crowns. So, let's see. That's another 80,000. So another $100. $194,000. So that's also... Yep. You're spending 140. No, 130. Yeah. You're spending $130. Or a grand total of 400 and... Let's see. 435? Yeah. Yeah, $435 to completely unlock all areas within both within both games. Because members get access to all zones of Wizard 101 for the duration of the membership. It says so right here. Memberships can be month to month, or you can purchase several months at a time for a discounted price. Memberships automatically renew, and you'll see a charge from King's Isle Entertainment on your credit card statement. Members may access more than 50 adventuring zones and participate in message boards and use our True Friend chat. Why be a member? To get the full magical experience of Wizard 101, doi. A Wizard 101 membership grants unlimited access to all worlds, quests, ranked events, faster timers, limited time special benefits like double pet experience, larger storage, and so much more. You get all this for becoming a member. But if you become a free-to-play, you're basically stuck in Wizard City and grinding within Triton Avenue and Unicorn Way. Because you even need to go through the paid zones where you have to become a member or gain crowns. Because you can earn crowns in-game by watching videos or playing through trivia quizzes and get a 75% or higher, as you can do several each day and earn about 3,100 a month if by chance, if you're doing both videos and quizzes. I'm not exactly sure how many you can do per day for either one or both. But this is such a serious problem. I really do wish that KingsIsle really makes more areas completely free for their players, because if there is not going to be any more new free zones, if the entirety of Arc 1 could simply just be free for players, that would simply make things so easy. It would give them a reason to come back to the game. But if KingsIsle will not make any more areas free to play for their player base, they're going to be seeing a drastic drop in players. Because if you want to have your servers up and active, you need to keep a stable player base. You need to have more players joining and getting into your game again. You feel me? You hear me? You need to have more players actively playing your game. Otherwise, people are just going to see it as a dead game and avoid it. And sure, buying crowns could also be used to get mounts, buy potions, getting another character slot. But you know, what if I just want to be able to play this game for free and not be able to spend much money? Well, you might as well be better off playing a different MMO that's not this or Pirate 101. Because if Wizard and Pirate 101 had more free zones or free areas for Wizard 101 and more books that people could play for free in Pirate 101, their numbers of new players and returning players would drastically increase in mass. But yet, if it does not change at any point in time, there is not going to be any more new players or returning players, because you're only ever going to be seeing veterans and returning players on Wizard or Pirate 101. But that's it. If you try going down to the starting two areas, Unicorn Way and Triton Avenue, you're barely seeing anyone that's brand new. You would possibly see like 2, 3 to 4 brand new players, because the rest of the people, they probably don't have a subscription. They don't have a membership. They really don't feel like spending money on this game when they probably have something that's much better to play through, whether it be an MMO or not. But KingsIsle really needs to hear players' voices like mine and anyone else's, to know that if we want to be able to play these games again, we need to see more free zones. Primarily Arc 1 alone, if so. I thought this game was going to be a free-to-play game, not a glorified paywall where it's always going to be shoved in my face, especially from their April Fool's joke of a post over on Twitter that I saw from my friend Nightside. They had a rank 750 boss in front of Cyclops Lane, and it literally was the Premium Zone paywall. Let me try and find it, and I'll show you how it looked. Alright. It basically looked like this. In front of Cyclops Lane, and you would see that as a little joke post. But then, before Lemuria, or not Lemuria, but Novus and Walaru, it costed people $189, or around 210,040 crowns, just to simply buy all the areas. And this is clearly a disgrace to the game. It's a complete disgrace. Honestly, I just really hope that King's Isle just does something with their two games and make more free playable area, or free and playable zones within Wizard 101 and books in Pirate 101. They really need to do this. Otherwise, their games will die. They are fun. I'll give it that. Especially Wizard 101. That community is completely amazing from what Nightside has shown me. Especially when so many people have met friends over on that game. And yet, you're barely seeing anyone new anymore, as it is. And it's sad. It's saddening. But this is also going to be where I will end things here for now. As much as I would love to talk more about this whole situation, I really just don't want to be dragging things on any further as it is. King's Isle need to make more free zones and books available to their players, if they even want to see a growth in their player count. But this is going to be ending things here for now. I will see all of you in the next video, so please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. I will see all of you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Peace out.